Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our admins who helped us with this translation. The translation reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My name is Tande, and I am 42 years old. I am sitting here as I am writing this email to you. My confession, I know that I only have 4 months left to live. The doctors say that it is all because of stomach cancer, but I know much better. So for a very long time, I have been drinking all of these herbs. So these herbs, they were the ones that gave me this stomach cancer. So each and every time when I used to have these spiritual encounters because of my UKUTHWALA rituals that I did, then I will be given some herbs to drink. So these herbs, they were the ones that ended up giving me stomach cancer. This is the price that I must pay for the choices that I made almost 14 years ago. Choices that have led me down a dark and a twisted path. When I was 28, I was an air hostess. I traveled the world, living a glamorous life that most could only dream of. But beneath the surface, I was consumed by a desire for more money, more power, more everything. That was what I wanted. I wanted to be rich beyond my wildest dreams, and I was willing to do whatever it was going to take me to get there. I still remember that there was this other time when this other gentleman looked at me, and I saw that this man, it seemed as if he was loaded. So this man, I had to seduce him. This man, he then asked for my digits and we started dating. So I then told myself that it was far much better for me to do whatever that I had to do to keep on hooking up with these guys that were ultra rich. That was when I heard about UKUTHWALA, the ritual that was going to give me everything that I wanted. And at that time, it sounded too good to be true, and I did not believe it in it anyway. The first charm that was given to me, I was told that whenever I go out with a man that was wealthy, there were some charms that I had to put in between my private parts. And when I would have placed that charm in my private part, then this was going to make that wealthy man to give me more money. The moment that he will be sleeping with me, that charm will be doing something to his manhood, something that he had never experienced before. Each and every time when I'll be taken out by a rich blesser, this man, after sleeping with me, he will be like, all my life I have never been with a woman that is as sweet as you are in bed. So when I saw that indeed this charm was working, that was when I thought of becoming wealthy using UKUTHWALA rituals. I was blinded by greed and ambition. I sought out a very powerful Sangoma here in Durban who explained the ritual to me. He told me that I had to sacrifice, I would need to sacrifice something precious, something that was irreplaceable. I did not fully understand what that meant at that time, but I agreed to go through with it. The ritual was easy, or so I thought. I was told to bring personal items that were belonging to my relatives, things that carried their very essence. And the traditional healer said if it was even possible to get their underwears, if I could not get their underwears, so I would steal their t-shirts, their trousers. So this was the habit that I was doing. I would go and I would sleep over at my cousin's place. Then when I would leave, returning back to my place, I would steal maybe a bra. I would take a t-shirt, but I used to select those old ones, which I knew that it will take a very long time for them to realize that one of their personal belongings is missing. I still remember when I went to this other uncle's place in the village, so I then stole my uncle's underwear. He complained about that underwear. It seemed as if that was the only underwear that he had, but it was an old underwear with holes everywhere. I took everything and I went with all that I had to the traditional healer, and he was glad and he said that indeed I see that you have done as I had told you, not realizing that I was sealing their fate one by one. My relatives, they began to suffer. My auntie lost her mind My cousin was struck by a mysterious illness. My younger brother was involved in a fatal car accident. Each time when there was death in the family, I would feel a pang of guilt, but the money, the luxury, the life that I was living, it all made sense. It seemed as if it was worth it. I was showered with wealth. I bought houses, cars, and anything that my heart desired. I thought that I had outsmart God, I had outsmart the world. Deep down, I knew that everything that I had done, it was really wrong. One by one, my relatives, they started coming back to me. They started telling me that I was the one who was responsible for their death. The moment that I started to see their spirits in my dream, then I went back to that Sangoma. The Sangoma then told me that this meant that their spirits, they were going to kill me or to make me to run mad. I said, what am I going to do? That was when the Sangoma told me that the only way to keep these spirits at bay was by using these charms. So he used to make some herbal mixtures for me that I would drink. So I would go and collect them at all the times I used to keep them in my home. So these herbal mixtures that I was drinking, they were the ones that gave me this cancer. So it all started like almost 9 years ago or so, when I started to experience ulcers. And when I would go to the clinic, they would just give me some pills. And the more that I drank these herbal mixtures, the more that I was destroying my intestines. Now at 42, I am dying. The stomach cancer that is eating away at me is not just a disease, it is a curse that I brought upon myself. The Sangoma told me that I was going to live a life that was full of luxury, and he said that it was going to be short-lived, and I did not understand what he meant by that. He was right. I have 4 months left, 4 months to reflect on the devastation that I have caused. What really pains me is the spirits of my relatives that I always see. Like I see myself in the hospital where I am going to die, and the moment that I am going to die, then I see the spirits of my relatives. They'll be waiting for me to exit, my spirit to exit the hospital premises, so that they can take me wherever they want to take me to. I have no answer where they would be taking me to. This is my own confession. I also want people to know that there is nothing good that is ever going to come out if you do these UKUTHWALA rituals. Yes, you might want money, you might be poor, but it is far much better to be poor. Then you sleep peacefully at night. It is far much better to go to bed hungry than to go to bed knowing that you have all of this money, but at the same time knowing that you have only 4 months to live. If I was going to rest in peace, I would say that it is far much better. But as for me, I am not going to rest in peace. There is not going to be peace for me, because the spirits of my relatives, they are going to be tormenting me for all eternity. Whether they will drag me to hell, I do not know. But the Sangoma said that he does not have an answer. But all these years, he was the one who used to give me all the answers whenever I felt like I needed him to give me an answer. But now he says that he does not understand what it means when I see myself dying in my dreams and my relatives waiting to torment me for eternity. This is my own confession, Brother Nashi. When you post my story, please tell me. I'll be following through in the comment section. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister who gave us this translation. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world.